الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما كلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فحدا ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر. السلام عليكم.
Thank you, Mr. Mashid. Now it's time to honor the guest. Now I request our beloved head of the department to adorn a shawl to Dr. Justine James. Dr. Justine James, the guest of this first technical session, academic writing and publishing. Please give a big round of applause. A memento is being presented to the day's guest. Kindly give a big round of applause. We again request our beloved head of the department to adorn a shawl to Dr. Ilyas. Dr. Mohammed Ilyas is the guest of the second technical session, Emerging Trends in Global Research Methodology. Dr. Mohammed Yasir is adorning a shawl to the day's guest. We now request a memento is being presented to the day's guest by Dr. T. Umar Sadi. A certificate of appreciation is being presented by Dr. We request our head of the department to adorn a shawl to Dr. Bashir Ahmed. Give a big round of applause, please. Dr. Bashir Ahmed, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Jamal Mohammed College. A memento is being presented to the guest. A hearty thanks to all the dignitaries on the stage. Now we may enter into the first technical session. Academic writing and publishing is presided by Dr. Justine James. Dr. Justine James has a PhD in literature and applied linguistics, brings over 20 years of experience in English language teaching as a faculty of English at the University of Technology and Applied Science in Oman. He has excelled in teaching, curriculum development, and e-learning coordination. Dr. James has evaluated 38 PhD theses from various Indian universities covering various research areas. His impressive publication records includes research features in Web of Science and Scopus Index journals. Dr. Justin James aims to contribute his skills to higher education institutions that fosters professional engagement and offers opportunity for growth in research. The PGM Research Department of History feels privileged to host such an eminent resource person for the day's session. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, all of you. Good morning, all of you. I'm very happy to be here today because always happy whenever I meet young students, and that to a large gathering of students is a happy thing for me. A respected principal, secretary, the head of the Department of History, and other learned professors of the department, and the invited guests, other professors from the other department, professors and research scholars attending the program online, and my dear student friends. When we talk about research, there is a lot of pressure from various sectors, particularly from the accreditation sectors of the university in India, that teachers need to publish a lot of research. Not only teachers, young researchers who are doing their PhDs also should publish in accredited journals. So during my times, when I was a student here, my professors never had a PhD. Out of 25 teachers we had at St. Joseph's College, we had only one PhD. But even without PhD, some were only MAs, but they were excellent teachers. So, they weren't excellent researchers, or there weren't any pressure on their part, or from administration or anywhere, to do research. At the same time, research was present there, in a sense that those who are really interested in research, they were continuously doing research and continuously they were publishing. And in a lifetime, if a professor publishes 10 good papers, that could be a great achievement those days. But today it is not like that. So because of technology and the pressure, publication industry has become a very big international scam also. It's a billion-dollar business, or billions of dollars business. So people are forced to pay a lot of money, and after paying a lot of money, when they get it published, and later they find that it is a fake journal. And this is another issue that is happening to many people. Many of my friends used to call and tell me, this is the situation, can you help us to publish? On the other hand, the policymakers of the country who makes research policies and things like that, they are also confused. Particularly one institution which is greatly confused in our country is University Grant Commission, which are supposed to guide us in research. They don't know what they are doing, and each and every day, last 10 days, I am getting conflicting messages from UGC regarding the number of papers to be published. One day they say that research scholars needn't publish. And for appointments and promotions, you need to publish. Then they had a UGC care listed journals. Now they are scrapping it. That's what's the latest news. So that means, you know, again, they don't have any proper guidelines or idea to guide these researchers. But at the end of the day, you have to research, you have to publish, and otherwise you will perish. That is the situation. So institutional accreditation is connected to publications. Now I have studied this publication industry as well as the kind of papers qualitatively for last 10 years, the research papers that are coming out of India. Though Indians are able to are capable of doing very good research, the content part of the research is excellent. The language part is not up to the mark. I would say below the expectation, much below the expectation. The fair reason is that, you know, right from childhood or right from graduate days, students are not taught how to write. So we all are able to write or read in English, speak in English, but the normal writing we do and the academic writing, there is a vast difference, a sea of difference. When you, academic writing is a special skill, writing things following certain methodology, using the correct vocabulary, correct grammar, and the kind of language which even a common layman reads your scientific research paper, he should be able to understand. That is something. So I come across languages, you know, sometimes as an English professor for more than 35 years. I have been teaching English at various levels for the past 35 years. Sometimes some of the research PhD thesis I get on English literature, I can't read and understand the kind of vocabulary they use. Indians have very good vocabulary, but unfortunately they cannot, these vocabulary is below the or beyond the understanding of the readers. The common readers cannot understand that. So then what is the use of research? So therefore the language expectation is very simple language, day-to-day language. It should be intelligible to even common man who is not a postgraduate, even an undergraduate or less than that, they should be able to read and understand. This is the requirement. If you read any international papers published from other parts of the world, you will find this. The language will be very simple. So this is how one has to, plan and write. So therefore, though my title is Academic Writing and Research Publication, I am going to discuss some important matters that are related to writing, academic writing, how one can improve your writing in order to become a good research publisher. Everyone is a good researcher. If you have an idea, you can do research and become a good researcher. But if you want to successfully publish in well-accredited journals, Scopus, Web of Science journals, you need to write well. So this is one of the basic requirements. So we are going to deal with this. So let us first look at what is academic writing. So academic writing is a specific, well-planned writing. Academic writing is a kind of writing used in colleges, universities, in other research institutions, where they need to communicate something, when they need to say something related to their research to the public, then it becomes an academic writing. So academic writing is a reasoning, it has a reasoning and argument. So which fall within the field of study, either, for example, history of psychology. In history, you need to follow certain methods of, say, narrating the past, isn't it? So you must have specific information. You cannot simply say that there lived a man, he was doing this, he was doing that, but you have to give enough evidence to people, isn't it? Enough evidence should be evidence-based writing. So academic writing is again an evidence-based writing. So if a historian is writing about the war and the use of atomic bomb on Hiroshima, when he is writing about that, he has to give the details, he has to give a lot of interpretations and things like that in a language that is very logical and people should be able to understand reading that. And it should be factual also. The facts you give should be true. You cannot manipulate facts while you conduct research. Sometimes, now we have statistics tools. If you have circulated questionnaire to 50 people, it can be multiplied into 500. You will get the kind of multiplied statistics. It is not real research, it is unethical research. So reasoning is also very important. How reasonable you can present your evidence. Next slide. Now I want you to read this paragraph. And if you understand anything, please let me know. This is one of the sample paragraphs I have taken from one of the PhD dissertations I got to evaluate from one of the Tamil Nadu universities. It is an English literature PhD. So have you completed? So tell me, what did you understand from this? Would you understand anything? So most of you are history students. It is supposed to be a simple paragraph about a writer and how the writer is using the language. It is difficult, isn't it? So there is no clear idea. So many things are told there, and you don't get any clarity, the kind of language used there. Okay, it is very difficult to understand. So this is not a good writing. This is not a good writing, though vocabulary is used. Next slide. So let me move on from this to academic writing infrastructures. So academic writing infrastructures are supposed to be taught during the bridge course, after students finish their 12th standard, before they start their graduate course. These are the courses we teach. Actually, I am in a foundation program. Our responsibility is to teach students who come through technical education. Only after studying with us, they go for their graduate courses, certificate or diploma or any other specialization they are registered. So therefore, it is important before they go into graduate courses, before they start their BA or BSc or BTech or MBBS, they should be well versed in academic writing. It starts with paragraph writing. So that's a basic unit of any essay or research writing. So a paragraph should have certain components. So the first sentence of the paragraph, like I am not, because of the limited time, I am going to just mention, you can just take the picture, or like I have shared the PPT with the people here, they will share it with you. What you can do is, you can go through this, and the best thing is today, you can go to YouTube and just add a question mark, how to write a good paragraph. You will get number of videos that will explain it in a very simple. Don't watch videos prepared by Indians. Please look at videos prepared by native speakers, Americans or British, at least from other countries, so that you will get some good experience of listening to good language. So I don't challenge that Indians don't speak language. I am saying this just to give you a kind of exposure to varieties of English spoken in different parts of the country. So that will give you a very good thing. So each paragraph should have a clear topic sentence, what you are going to say in that paragraph. But the previous paragraph I showed there is no clear topic sentence. You don't know what you are going to read, isn't it? So you are baffled. You are wondering what am I reading, isn't it? So there should be an introduction so that anyone can understand. Then there should be proper supporting sentences that support the topic sentence. then there will be a concluding sentence. So if you are, the benefits of writing good paragraph is that the ideas will be organized logically, it will improve clarity, focusing on one idea at a time. So the readers will have clear or clarity of what is being written there. They will be able to understand what is written clearly there. So it will also help the scholars to organize their ideas in a very concise, in a way avoiding redundance, repetition. Sometimes people repeat ideas and words continuously. So that is also not considered a good academic writing. Now look at the example of a good paragraph. Just spend a minute and read this. And you can compare this with the previous paragraph I showed you from the PhD thesis. I hope you are able to follow, isn't it? Very clearly. And the kind of vocabulary used for that purpose related to the same topic. And each sentence is not very long. Sentence length of the sentence when you write. So when you are good at writing, you'll be able to write very simple sentences. So very straightforward sentences you can write. And you know, though this is a scientific document I have taken from National Geographic textbook, which we teach to our students, but anyone can understand. So this is comparing animal conflicts and human conflicts and things like that. Okay, let me move on. This is the kind of paragraphs expected. So if you write like this, definitely your articles will be accepted for publication. Second thing is, next, it's a descriptive writing, how to describe things, For example, you know, if you are your friend is visiting you and you have not met him, he is an online friend. He is waiting for you at Trichy bus stand. He is giving some description about himself. You go there, you look at a person with the same kind of description and maybe same kind of dress. There are two people. You go and talk to the wrong person. What is the reason? The description is not sufficient enough to give you the full identity of the person, isn't it? So therefore, when we describe things, we should be able to be very specific in description. So all the details should be very clearly given. So likewise, if you are describing a historical monument, you should be able to describe in a very neat way, very good way, so that the readers understand it in a good way. Next slide. Read this. No, next.
Yes, it's loading.
Yeah, no. Yeah, read this, and there are some words in bold letters. Look at those words. You are familiar with this place, right? That's why I brought this example for you. Mostly for history students, this is very important. So look at all the words marked in the bold letters. They are descriptive words that are normally used to describe a place or a building. Get it? So the specific vocabulary which needs to be used for the description. If you are in your thesis or in your research paper, there is something you are describing, you should be able to describe it very accurately, very sharply, so that they get all the information related to this. So that is also a clear requirement, particularly when you are writing about anthropological sites, excavations and things like that. You have to use the kind of vocabulary. So you have to get training in descriptive writing. Next is process. So process how to make a cup of coffee or how to make a cup of Indian coffee. People make coffee in different parts of the world in different ways. So you are going to another university and you have a roommate who is from another country. He's asking you, how do you make a cup of coffee? So you have to tell him the process of making a cup of coffee. So there, step by step, you have to describe. Whenever you are describing a process, for example, the process of used for building the Tanjore big temple. So how did they build that big monument? So it is a process, isn't it? So step by step, it would have taken many years to complete the construction, though I am not a very good, I don't have much knowledge about history and architecture. But when you explain that, you need to, or a scientific example like how a plant grows. You want to plant tomatoes using the modern agriculture methods. You have to grow tomatoes at home. So you are consulting someone. If that person is able to tell you, okay, first step is this, you take a note step by step and you follow the process, the end result will be the correct result. So when we are doing scientific experiments or when we are doing research, describing what happened in the past in a process description, then you have to follow the steps. And there is a specific style to describe that. There is an example. Next slide. Normally we give flow charts to the students. Simple process is a process of making glass. So the left part, this is the kind of question prompt we give to the students, and in the middle is the essay. So if you miss one step, you will not get a proper glass. So therefore, in the process writing, process is very important. Step by step describing the process so that the person reading can do the process. There are two processes. I mean, many processes are there. Particularly, we deal with industrial process and social process. How a Muslim wedding is celebrated. It is a process, actually. So when you are explaining the way, the cultural practices while doing a Muslim marriage, then you need to, others should be able to understand everything. Because you are explaining these things in a clear way, step by step. That is also very important. So process, writing a process essay also is part of academic writing, which any graduate should know. Next. Next one is causes and effects. So there are, most of our life is connected to cause and effect. You do something, you will get the result, isn't it? So causes of why do people study very well in the university? What is the effect of studying very well in the university? So reason, you need to get an employment. Causes means reasons. What promotes or what motivates you to study in a university? What are the effects? So if you become a good graduate, basically you will be respected in the society. There's a possibility of getting an employment. So how two things are related to each other? So in most of the research writing, we need to explain this. We need to explain this. Therefore, it is important to know how one can write about causes and effects. Here is an example. You can have a look at this example. The question prompt is like this. Nowadays, large numbers of individuals use social media to get news. In this essay, I will examine, the reasons for this, and then I will state the effects. So the question is, what are the reasons and what are the effects of getting news from social media? This is an essay written by one of my students. So I have taken it, made some corrections, and I am using it here. So the first two lines when you read, you know what you are going to read further. Because the author or the writer, the student clearly it states that or tells there that he or she is going to examine the reasons and the effects of reading news from social media. So anyone can, you don't need to have a lot of ideas to understand this. You know, I'm going to read about it. Then first, what are the reasons? Then what are the consequences? Then conclusion. So this is a basic structure for any writing. Shall I move on? Fifth one is comparison and contrast. So when you are able to, for example, you are comparing the similarities and differences between rock temple in Trichy and rock temples in anywhere else, maybe Madurai, Thirupuram, Kundam. We have many rock temples all over Tamil Nadu, isn't it? So as a history student, you are researching and you are going to write the salient features of these two historical monuments. Then you need to know how to compare and contrast, what to compare, what not to contrast. So when you are describing the architecture, if you say that, so it is, from Chennai it is 300 kilometers, the other one is 450 kilometers. That is not the detail needed there. You understand? So picking the correct details that are required to compare and contrast the architectural structure. So if you are explaining that to a tourist coming to Tamil Nadu to see these architectural places, then you can say the distance, compare the distance, how you can reach, various modes of transportation that can be used. Get it? So you have to be very specific what you are selecting, what you are comparing and contrasting. You should be able to use the different languages of comparison and contrast. So similarities and differences. Next. So model essay is there. So the prompt is like this. Some people prefer to use cell phones while others prefer computers. Compare and contrast these two gadgets and say which one you prefer. So you have to compare and contrast. So particularly here, you have to advantages. Mostly this discusses advantages, disadvantages of using both the gadgets. Then you have to tell which you prefer. Now again, partly this includes decision making also. You do a lot of research, but the end of the research, if you fail to say what you learned from this, then your research is not beneficial to you or beneficial to other people. They are also not going to learn anything from what you are publishing. So therefore, it is important to be very specific. You have to do specific details. Next, this is one of the most important infrastructures, writing infrastructures. Any postgraduate students, if you are doing a project, you must learn this, very important. Why it is division and classification is important, because you will collect large chunk of data. You will be referring to many books, lot of information, but you are required to write only 500 words, or even if it is 2,500 words, your assignment is 2,500 words. You have documents going up to 500 pages. How do you do that? Unless you know how to divide, classify, and use specific information, you will be at a loss. You don't know what to write, where to start, where to end. This is one issue. Second issue is, when it comes to thesis writing, chapterization. So some of them send chapters, I get thesis, sometimes 35 pages, introduction with no side headings. That means that particular research lacks division and classification. Division is dividing the whole chunk of data into parts. Classification is giving a name to every part. Giving a name to every part. So this is also very important. So unless you know, this is very specifically important for research guides also. When they, the thesis is given to the research guides to correct, go through it and comment on the thesis. Unless the research supervisor knows these things, this kind of a writing. He may not be able to find fault with that. They come and argue with me that it is okay in literature, you need not have paragraph division or these kind of classifications. One chapter can be 40 pages. No. See, there is a difference between creative writing. When I write a novel, I can write continuously. No need to. It is a story I am developing. But in academic writing, you are not telling a story. You are commenting on that story. Either you are commenting about the style or the characters there. It becomes a scientific writing. Though you are doing a PhD in history or literature, though it is related to human life, story, sociology, and things like that, historical events, historical buildings. But what you are doing is not, you are narrating history, you are not telling a story, you are analyzing the story, critically evaluating that. So it is a scientific writing, like any other science. Now I give you a sample, look at this. This is table of contents from one thesis, only first chapter. How many divisions are there? This is a full thesis, content of a full thesis. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chapter division. Others are declaration, certificates, and appendices, and adding add-ons. The total thesis is within 7 chapters. Okay, this is a bad thesis. I can just look at the content page and tell that this is a very average dissertation because chapters are not divided. Now I'll give you another example. This is content page I have taken from a PhD thesis. Look at that chapter number. Chapter introduction. How many divisions? 15 divisions, 15 different titles. So the researcher is able to divide the introduction into 15 parts and give name for, classify it by giving a title for each parts of the. Then he is going to the second chapter. He is doing the same thing on the second chapter. So that means the first impression I get from this thesis is this is a well-written PhD thesis. You get it? So this is the difference. So how one can classify and divide the information. Next one is also equally important. Argumentative discussion, agree, disagree. So what you argue, normally every day we argue with people, isn't it? Sometimes we get convinced, sometimes they get confused, sometimes both the parties get confused. So at the end of the argument. So why? Because we don't have specific training in presenting our arguments. We don't know how to present an argument. So if you learn this particular types of essays, if you know how to write these essays, definitely you will be able to present your arguments in a good way. There are 3 kinds of essays: argumentative, discussion, agree, disagree essays. So next one, I can show you some examples. Now I have taken one topic and I have used it for all the 3 types of discussion essays. Now look at this. Should the use of AI technology be regulated to balance innovation and ethical concerns? It's a question. So you have to argue whether it should be regulated or not regulated, whether there should be rules and regulation for using AI or not. So you can say that you can argue in both ways. You can say it is important to have some sort of regulations and rule for using AI, or you can say no, AI should be allowed to be used free. There should not be any restrictions. So this is argument, isn't it? You can choose what you are going to present. Now what happens is that when some people send me research articles for editing, or sometimes I get research articles for editing from journals, they start with one paragraph supporting it, but then you find they will say that I am going to support the idea of regulating the use of AI, but they end up saying at the end that no, it is not important to regularize that, okay? Because they lose the argument somewhere in the midway. They themselves get confused. The clarity is lost. So that is why it is important to study this particular essay. These three types of essays are very important. Discussion essay. The advantages and disadvantages of integrating AI technology in everyday life. So you have to discuss what are the advantages, what are the bad consequences, good consequences and good. So what will happen? This will help the researcher or reader when reading to understand the discussion in a good way and decide whether he can go and use AI technology in a good way for his benefit, or he should be careful because there are a lot of dangers in using AI technology. So again, discussing advantages and consequences. The third division there is agree disagree essay. AI technology does more harm than good in modern society. Do you agree with the statement? Give your reasons for your choice. So agree disagree. A statement will be given, or you select a topic. At the end of the topic, after doing research and you are presenting it, you should be able to tell that whether you agree with the idea or you disagree. Both ways you have to give reason. Why do I agree with that? Why do I agree with regulating AI technology? Why do I disagree with your own personal opinion? So when will you have a personal opinion? When you are a learned person, when you have enough information about that particular topic, then you will be able to give your own opinion when you analyze both the sides, isn't it? Otherwise, you may not be able to have any clear-cut opinion. Definition. So this is little more technique. Well, I am moving from easy to the most difficult part, mostly defining things, precisely defining things. It is like description. Mostly this is connected to description. When you define something, you should be able to use the kind of vocabulary and define in a clear way. Next one. Look at the example. Read this. I have defined this in one paragraph. Whiteboard marker. The marker we use, the color markers we use to write on the whiteboards. Look at the words. Writing instrument. Non-porous surfaces. That is a technical term for smooth surfaces. Have you completed reading that? So this is described when if you describe a pen or a person or a machinery. So this is very much important. This is a job requirement, particularly in technical fields, even any field. So if you are a salesperson, you are selling a product. If you are able to describe the product in very accurate terms, then you can be a very successful salesman. So this is also very important. One should learn to use the kind of descriptive words or words that you are related to that particular gadget or that particular component which you are defining. Now it is extended definition. So what is the difference between extended definition and definition? In definition, you just define something, you explain something, you define something in one paragraph. Extended definition can be, or it can run into many paragraphs. It can run into pages, because if you are selling a technology, you are installing a machinery, you need to give all the aspects of that machinery so that that person can install in a proper way. So it involves cause and effect, division and classification. All the previous essay I have mentioned earlier will be part of extended definition. So mostly technical students learn this. Even science students who are doing the research, they should be able to describe every part of it. Next. Now have a look at it of extended definition of whiteboard marker. Here definition will come as one paragraph. There are division and classification because there are different kinds of whiteboard markers. What are the causes and effects of using whiteboard markers? So you get the idea, isn't it? Then it doesn't stop there. Causes and effects. What are the problems of using them? Whether it is good for health or not. And it ends with a conclusion. So, in a scientific writing, mostly all the types of essays we have learned will come to use at one time or other. Then comes interpretation of direct grants, particularly when you have large scientific data, experiment data, and things like that. We should be able to, this is as a special kind of language, comparison and contrast, and things like that. So you should be able to do it. Now, I will explain it with an example. Consumption of fast food by Omani teenagers. So this is a graph. This is part of the lesson I have taken from one of the lessons we use there. So you have to describe the graph. Why we use graph? For example, when we take population statistics, India, you can give the statistics of the whole India in one page, isn't it? Today, statistics. How you are able to, summarize any amount of data into a graph. Now, when we are reading the graph, you should be able to, for making decisions. If a government wants to give some subsidies in particular area, they should be able to read the map, find out where people really need that support. So the people who are reading the data, they should be able to interpret it and write about it. Next. So in this graph, mostly use similarity, contrast, which one is used more, which one is used less, the percentage, comparison and contrast is also used. And read the final paragraph. Next. This is how the table is interpreted, the graph is interpreted. There are tables, pie diagram, there are different diagrams that give statistical data. So therefore, one should learn how to, or what kind of language is used, what kind of vocabulary is used to denote the increase, the decrease, the fluctuation, sudden fall, slow fall, sudden rise, slow rise. So how the lines in the graph moves. So it is also part of description also. These words are mostly descriptive also. So the trend increases. Increase is the word, descriptive word. Decreases, it is a descriptive word describing the slowdown of the consumption of fast food. So last one is problem solution, the next one. So how one can handle problem and solution. Mostly in research, we have to, we address problems and find solutions. And mostly research, the basic idea why human beings involved in research is to enhance our life, make our life better each day. And one research says that this will be better. After 10 years, another research will say whatever you have been doing is foolish. You have to change the ways of looking at the thing, particular medicine or whatever it is. So continuous research helps us to improve the situation. Continuous research helps us to improve. So there are a lot of benefits. So this is also one of the infrastructures which is very important for research writing, or what we call academic writing. This is one topic. More and more people claim that modern work patterns are a source of stress. What do you think are the causes of this? Can you suggest possible solutions? So even though problems are causes, see how two kinds of essays are combined here. You have to study causes and effects first, then you have to write the consequences also, and ways to solve this problem. So any problem we discuss, because problems cannot persist for a longer time, so we should be able to solve the problem. They have given the essay sample also. You can just have a look at it some 1 minute and read the essay. The idea is that sometimes stress is important. You perform better in stressed conditions. Next. This is the last part of the essay. Look at the sentence. To reduce stress at work, several solutions can be followed. And they are listed. Listing is also very important. Like I showed the chapter content page, it is listed one by one. And a conclusion also. It has a recommendation. So both the employees and management should work together to reduce the stress. That's a kind of recommendation given there. So now there are a few things which I would discuss. Like at least 5 years before or 10 years before, it was very difficult for anyone to learn something with his own interest or with his own motivation, because simply the technology wasn't there. So you have to depend on the teacher. Today, if you ask me who is responsible for teaching these things, no one is responsible. Only you are responsible for learning these things. So you should have done this by the first semester of graduation if you have not learned in the school. This is one thing. What departments and colleges in the Western countries and other places where I work also, we have writing centers. So this is something for the policy makers, HODs and the principals and policy makers to take care of. A college that has a vast number of students like this, ocean up, it's like an ocean, isn't it? Different departments. It is very much important that you should have a writing center. What's the job of this writing center? It is not only guiding the students in learning to write these infrastructures and practice, but also guiding the teachers who are involved in research and extending them help to complete their research work and prepare the reports in a proper way. So unless you have a proper writing center, which actually, if you have a research department, or if you have many research departments, if you don't have a writing center, it is like a heartless body. So there will not be any proper circulation of blood. So research, the heart of research should be the writing center. It should supply the ingredients that are required to make our research publishable. After publishing, it will be beneficial to others. So this is one way. Second way, I am coming back to students again. See, the best miracle that has happened in recent years is YouTube. I don't know what for you are using YouTube. All these essays, you can learn, each essay, if you spend 1 hour, you can learn it. And another one, you take a topic and write, this is enough. So little bit of time and effort, if you invest, you can learn slowly. Overnight, you cannot become an expert. But whenever you are writing it, checking it, you can learn it. So another benefit is AI. Now, most of the students, what they do is, if the teacher is giving an assignment, They transfer the assignment to AI assistant, then they get a full essay printed. But I teach my students in a different way. So if there is a topic given to them on, first I use Google, research on certain things, read. I suggest to my students. Then go to AI, ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever AI you are using. Find out from that, ask to give you some points, main points which can be used in your essay. So it gives a point. Now you have to go again to ChatGPT. If it is a cause and effect essay or division and classification essay, ask ChatGPT to give you a framework for this particular topic and word requirement and things like that. It will give you a framework. So keep this and write your own essay. After completing writing this essay, what you do is you go back to ChatGPT, upload the essay, and ask ChatGPT to correct the vocabulary. Not correct, but show you where you went wrong in vocabulary, where you went wrong in grammar, where you went wrong in structure. For example, sometimes you write something that can be put in the conclusion in the middle. So like that, or some point which you could have used in introduction, you have used in the conclusion. It will show you the markups. Then you can take it out, do another round of rewriting, editing, then submit it to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to make it, polish it and make it perfect. You get a perfect essay. So in this process, what is the gain? You have learned using the technology for your advantage. You are not, it is in a kind of ethical use of technology. So therefore, teachers also, it's important for teachers to teach them the ethical use. And also, because again, today it is easy to cheat the teachers. All teachers may not have the technology to check. For us, in everything they submit to us, it has to run through Turnitin automatically. So my students, they submit an assignment, they have to submit through Moodle Learning Management Program. And the moment it submits, he gets a report, what is the percentage of plagiarism there. So they are afraid. They will sometimes, check without submitting. Then they will rewrite, or if they have copied, they rephrase if they know. That's a lot of work. It is a stressful work. So therefore, right from your undergraduate days, if teachers guide the students to use this technology in a good way, definitely when you become researchers, teachers, or working in companies, or even in your personal life, you can use this technology in a very, very beneficial way, following all the ethical standards. So learning to use this in the proper way is very, very important. So therefore, I would request the head of the department here to take it up this, establishing a writing center in the institution. It's very, very important. And who can be running this? English department people, and not only English department people, other department volunteers who are good at language. So I have found many teachers, with the science background, they have better English language than, it is, you cannot make a judgment as such, but there are teachers I have come across who have excellent knowledge. They can be part of it. And first thing you have to do is, you have to train the teachers in academic writing. First, they should be proficient in academic writing. Then they should be trained to teach academic writing. So that these programs can be run without much investment. You need one room or not two rooms where students come, one or two volunteer teachers on a daily rotation basis. Be there at the center. Students come and discuss with you what they can improve a particular thing. Sometimes they bring their own essays or a paragraph. Teacher, can you tell me how I can improve this? What do you think of this? So you need not be very judgmental. That's how we handle this situation. We just tell them and give them suggestion. No, you can improve like this. Why don't you do this? Why don't you go to this website and recheck again? So without a writing center, a college cannot be very successful in producing. Also collaborative work. Collaboration, 2-3 researchers working together on a project. You cannot survive individually anymore. If anyone is trying to survive individually in academics and in academic publication, I don't think he'll or she will be very successful. Collaborative work, not only collaboration within the campus, within the countries, within the state, within the country. You can collaborate because of the online support. You can approach anyone, collaborate. Now people are looking for collaborations actually, and more than Indians, foreign teachers from different subjects, they want to collaborate with India. You know the reason why? The kind of research we do is excellent research, be it medicine, science, or anything. Because we have the vast population, the data we get will be more accurate and things like that. So any researcher from any part of the world will be very happy to collaborate with you. So that is because they need to learn. But there is another problem is also there. Most of the time, what happened in English language teaching, N.S. Prabhu, he recently passed away. He's the one who invented task-based learning. He was working in Bangalore, RI. Then Regional English Institute, they train teachers. He started a Bangalore project. You know what happened? He went to some conferences in the West, presented the idea, task-based learning. They published hundreds of books, textbooks. I.A. Richards and other people. They made billions, and he died. Till his end, he was living on his pension. So this is also a disadvantage when you share your research. So therefore, one has to be careful. The partner should be well designed. Therefore, so that they don't exploit your research, you should also get benefit. Nowadays, youngsters are smart. People like us are not that smart.
மீட்டிங் உள்ள போய் பாருங்க. மீட்டிங் உள்ள போய்
Hello.
Hello. Hello, check.
Where are you?
Sir, patient, sir.
Hello.
Do you have voice?
Yes, sir. என்ன ஒரு சவுண்ட் கேக்குது ஒரு ரெண்டு டிவைஸ் ஒரே இடத்துல HDMI மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் இஷ்யூ ஆகுது சார். அது இதுல கனெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம் சார். ஓகே. அவர்கிட்ட இது வாங்கிக்கோங்க, பென்ட்ரைவ் வாங்கிக்கோங்க சார். சாரோட பென்ட்ரைவ் மட்டும் சார். சார்ட்ட பென்ட்ரைவ் மட்டும் கேளுங்க.
So now we may enter into the second technical session.
அப்படிப்பட்ட ஆக்கி விடுங்க. அகாடமிக் இல்ல அதுக்கு மேல அகாடமிக் ரைட்டிங் அதுக்கு மேல அது க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி அதுக்கு மேல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இன்டராக்ஷன் கீழே ஓகே கொடுத்து ஃபுல் ஸ்கிரீன்
இதெல்லாம் வந்து போயிடும்.
Participants, kindly please be accommodated for the second technical session. I request everyone to maintain silence, please. Participants, kindly maintain silence. We are entering into the second technical session of the day. Kindly cooperate with us. Again, repeat, participants, kindly cooperate with us. Please maintain silence. So participants, we can enter into the second technical session. I extend a cooperation from participants. Please maintain silence. The second technical session, Emerging Trends in Global Research Methodology, presided by Dr. M. H. Muhammad Ilyas, Associate Professor, Department of Botany, Jamal Muhammad College. Sir has published more than 35 research articles in national and international forums. He has guided 5 PhD scholars and has an ongoing 7 PhD scholars with him. Sir has completed 2 minor projects funded by Universities Grant Commission. His outstanding research contribution has earned him numerous recognitions. The BGM Research Department of History feels privileged to host such an eminent guest for this technical session. Over to you, sir.
Okay, good morning. Thank you for the introduction of mine. Most honorable, great founders of Jamal Muhammad College, revered management committee of Jamal Muhammad College members, chairman and principal, beloved convener at another department of history, co-convener, organizing secretaries, members. I feel immense happy to stand before you to share about the title Emerging Trends in Global Research Methodology. I try to share my ideas within 25 to 30 minutes. Next. Next slide. Yeah. Global research methodology. The process, what is global research methodology? The process of conducting research on global scale involving people from different countries. This is the aim. It involves planning, setting goals, using appropriate techniques from researchers all around the world. So this is the objective of this global research methodology. Then, what is research methodology? Research methodology is the study of research methods, describing the techniques, procedures used to identify and analyze the information regarding a specific research topic. Why research methodology? The research methodology is important to replicate the research of yours. Second one, it is easily answer any questions about your research. It provides a framework and guidelines for researchers to find hypotheses and objectives. It helps the researchers to identify the research design, sampling techniques, data collection, and analysis methods. Then the research methodology help to get valid and reliable findings, ethical guidance, and efficient planning of the research. Because of this technology is important, then slide next. Before this. Next. Okay. Often there is a confusion of hackers between method and what is method and what is methodology. Method is a specific tool or procedure or a technique used to collect the data. This is method. For example, if you want to prepare a cake, the recipe is the method. Then about methodology, it is overall approach. So this is the difference between a method and methodology. A tool and methodology is overall approach or framework or strategy for completing a task. Again, you take the example of the cake. What are the principles of baking? The principles of baking is the methodology, and the recipe for making the cake is the method. Next. These are the research methods. First, a qualitative method. It collects and analyzes the non-numerical data. All qualitative research are non-numerical data. Example, text, videos, and audios. For what? To understand the concept, opinions, experiments, etc. This method is also known as ethno methodology. methodology. This method is also known as economic methodology or field research. This method explains the complex phenomena to understand the questions why, how, like that. Then quantitative method. This method involves the understanding and application of numerical values, measurements, mathematical operations, the data reported, and analysis. Then third one is the mixed method, also known as hybrid method. Here, both the qualitative as well as quantitative research methods are employed. For what? To gain a deeper understanding of the topic or research problem by using both the data obtained from the qualitative research as well as the method as well as from the quantitative method. Then, what is the action research method mostly used in teaching learning process or organizations? For example, a classroom, how the students behave, a college, how the staff behave, like this. So, for that type of research, this action research method is used. Next slide. Yeah. Quantitative research methods. Here, there are some methods. There are 10 methods I'm going to explain. First one is observation method. It is non-experimental. Research based on observations, events. The information is collected from the people, often used in social sciences. This method is used in social sciences, in medical as well as hard science fields. This method is involved in research topics related to natural behavior. There are 4 types of observation method: event, non-participant observation from a distance. For example, the Zoom, they are non-participant observation, hearing. Then covert observation, that is hidden observation. Hidden observation means participants they don't know that they are observed. That is hidden observation. Then covert observation, that is participants are aware that they are watching, they are observing. So these are the 4 types of observation methods used in research methodology. Then second one, case studies method. Studying a single subject in detail to understand the complex issues. This is the case studies method. Data is obtained through interviews, observations, documents. This method may be explanatory or descriptive or exploratory or intrinsic. Then third one, content analysis method. The social life is analyzed by examination by written or visual data. So this is taken into account. It is a non-invasive method used to study gender issues, political trends, social changes, then verifying the authorship to understand the relationship between the concepts. For these types of studies, this method is used. Then fourth one, grounded theory method. The data collected by this method is used to develop theories and about the social behavior and relationships. They are used to study organizational phenomena. For example, in a company, the workers are leaving. We have to find out why the people are leaving. For this type of research, this grounded theory method is utilized. Yeah, next slide. Ethnography, this is another method. It involves observing and interviewing people in natural environment. Natural environments means we have to go there and they have to interview. How people interact with each other, and we can know from their interaction, their culture, their pattern, and their practices like that. But this type of research method is used in social and behavioral sciences, anthropological sciences, anthropology. And sixth one is focus group method. It involves a group of people discussing a topic in a moderated setting. Goal is to get deeper understanding of the peoples, their attitudes, their beliefs, their perceptions. In this method, there is a facilitator who lead the discussion and get the ideas shared by the participants. This method is mostly used in market research to get feedback about the products, then healthcare research about the health issues. Then this pilot testing, before wider implementation of some ideas or concepts or materials, they discuss about whether we have to say or not. For that purpose, this focus group method, this pilot testing is used. Then next one is interviews method. The data is collected by asking questions from a person or a group to get about for where, for what, their experience, their opinions, their behaviors, how they feel and think, to explore and the sensitive issues, to build interest. So, for these purposes, the interview, this method is used in this methodology. Then there are two types of interviews method: structured and therefore structured, semi-structured, unstructured, and focus group. In structured, the questions are predetermined. Semi-structured, most of the questions are predetermined. Some based on the occasion or the situation, they will raise the question and get the answer. Unstructured, no questions are predetermined. Then last one, focus group. Questions are given to the group instead of individual. So instead of giving an individual, the questions are given to the group and they will get the feedback. So this comes under this interview method. Then next one, phenomenology method. This method is used in methodology to study the living experience of the people and their communication methods, branding research. Where, for example, there are some people are waiting for some function. How? How you are waiting? How are thinking about to conduct the function? Like that, questions will be there. Then surveys. So these type of research work related with this method is what we recommended. Phenomenology method. Here also there are three types: transcendental phenomenology, descriptive, and interpretive. Then next one, action research method. This is to identify a problem and developing solutions to improve them. It is a collaborative process. Then historical research method. Last one, 10th one. The results are obtained from the data is obtained from the primary and secondary sources to understand the past. There are four branches of historical research method: chronology, data of the past event; diplomatics, document, the record, archives based on that we get some data. Then data obtained from ancient inscriptions, that is called epigraphy. Then from historical handwriting, when we get the data information, that is bibliography. So these chronology, diplomatics, epigraphy, and bibliography, they all come under the historical research method. Next slide. Quantitative method. Here, first one, survey. The collecting data from a group of people by asking questions. Here also there are four types: descriptive, casual, qualitative, and quantitative. Next one, correlation method. This is a non-experimental method. Examine the relations between the variables. They are examined. Mostly usually to test a hypothesis, usually in identifying the trends, patterns, etc. There are two types of correlation methods: positive correlation, negative correlation, and there is also no correlation method also. And third one, descriptive method. Describe the characteristics of a population. Okay, are they phenomena used to answer questions about what, where, when, how, like that. This descriptive method is used to understand the behavior or comparing the societies or to study the customer satisfaction. Then fourth one, experimental method. Scientific method to testify the hypothesis, to establish that the cause, what is the cause, to find out the effect of relationships, to study the human behavior, social environment, education, psychology, like that. Then statistical analysis method, data used to identify patterns, trends, relationships. Actually, this statistical analysis method is a tool used in research methodology, used in quantitative assurance studies, defect analysis studies. It consists of this like median, mode, standard deviation, like that. Then classification analysis method. Here, algorithms are used to categorize the data into groups based on shared characteristics. It is a data mining technique. Usually in machine language, statistical modeling, and text analysis. Uses of this method is in customer segmentation, fraud detection, spam filtering, image recognition, medical diagnosis, and stock market trends. Then cluster sampling method, it is a probability sampling method that involves dividing a population into groups or clusters randomly selected. Then quasi-experimental method. This compare the groups with the different treatments or next. Mixed research method. Mixed research method is here, both qualitative and quantitative research methods are used as in a single study. Mostly used this method in social, behavioral, and health sciences. Again, it is a hybrid research method. Both the data are collected and they are integrated to gain more complete understanding in their research objectives. So this is very useful, this mixed research method. This requires interdisciplinary teams of researchers. Yeah. These are some of the following research methods. Triangulation. Triangulation means using multiple methods or data sources or theories to study a specific topic. What is the purpose? What is the use? It improves the validity and credibility of the research finding, mostly used in qualitative research and as well as in the quantitative research. Then embedded design. Both qualitative and quantitative data are used, but here the qualitative data is embedded within the quantitative data. So this is the embedded design, mostly used to quantitate the data, explain the findings of researchers when the time is very limited or the resource is very limited. This method is used. Another by importance of this method is it strengthens the primary type of research design. Then third one, exploratory design. It investigates why something happens when there is limited information available, also known as casual research method. Then fourth one, exploratory design. It is used to explore a topic when there is little or no previous research. What this exploratory research it gives or it gives an insight about the familiarity with a topic so that based on the research, further research can be continued or can be done. When to use this method? When the research is on topic at the preliminary stage. There is no strong evidences. Just only they started the work. At the time, this exploratory design method is useful in methodology to study about this one. So it lays a foundation for more conclusive research. Okay. Action research method. This is known as also, this is a methodology. It involves collaboration to identify the problems, develop solutions, and implement changes. It is a holistic approach to study the problem. Holistic entire. There are certain steps involved in this. First, we have to identify the problem, then develop the research problem, take action, observe the result, reflect on them, make adjustments to the research plan. Suppose if you have to change it, you can adjust the problem or topic, or repeat the process. Yeah, repeat the process until the problem is solved. So this action research. So next slide there. What are the topics in research methodology? This is a general one. So, yeah, if you talk about the research methodology, we can't neglect this one. First is research design. That is, what is research design? A plan that outlines how to conduct research, include the method, techniques, how to collect data, how to analyze data. Then sampling. This is the process of selecting a subset of a population to represent the whole. Then third one is data collection. That is the process of gathering information. Then data analysis, the systematic process of examining the data to draw the conclusion about a research topics. So these are the backbones of the research methodology. Sir, Justice Sir, he spoke about how to serve Now this methodology is how to prepare. So this is the preparation. So these methods you can't avoid. So whenever you have to go to research methodology, you have a sound knowledge about these four types: how to research design, how to sample, how to collect data, and how to analyze the data. Okay, next slide. Emerging trends. So these are the recently emerging trends in the 80s, like that in 90s. It's not there. But there are four. One is artificial intelligence. AI is used in research methodology to help with data organization analysis and visualization, used in literature review, collection, in collaboration, in experimentation, and mostly used in natural language processing. That is NLP. Okay, artificial intelligence. Then quantum computing. This method is used to solve complex problems faster than the classical computers. When we use computers for our research, these quantum computers they did work more fastly than the classical computers. Can used to create models, mostly used in scientific studies, in chemistry, like drug designing. They produce the molecules like that. So used to create models. It also worked on this Kalpoka. How it works means it works on this one liquid bits superposition. Okay, so these are how it works. Next, blockchain. What is blockchain? It is an advanced data mechanism that allows transfer information sharing. It stores the data in blocks linked together in chains. That's why the name blockchain. Then last one, edge computers, computing, edge computing. Yeah, it is used to process the data closer to its source. It improves the speed and reliability of the data analysis. It is useful to generate large amount of data in a short time and very quick also. The next slide. Yeah. Before okay. Mixture methods. Mixture methods again is repeating quantitative, qualitative, and then multimodal research means using multiple data sources. It is an interdisciplinary approach. Then mobile ethnography using mobile technology. Then online samplings. Data collected from the target group using the internet. Then live chat groups, live chat focus group used in real time texting based on communication to gather quantitative data. The moderator will ask questions, the participants will respond. It is then webcam interviews, qualitative research method that use video conferencing tools to conduct one-to-one conversation with the participants. Next, these are some more methods. One is creative and visual methodology, range of techniques that use visual and creative expression, used in quantitative research. In this method, photos, videos, collages, drawings, emotion maps, spatial interviews were done. Reflexive and critical methods. The process that involved acknowledging the researcher's role in the research process and critically questioning the researcher's value and ethics. So this type of method is used in these methods. There are the researchers that they did use about the critical thinking of the researchers, biases, perspectives, working hypotheses, experiences, conclusions, etc. Then critical methods mostly questioning on values, ethics, utility, how the research is conducted, and how to report the results. So these are the critical methods. Next. These are some of the tools used in, for example, for information survey, the tools like Delighted, Survey Monkey, Typeform. So because of the paucity of time, I can't explain further. So you can type in the Google and find out what is this Delighted. You get detailed full information. Then next slide. Yeah, this is web data analysis tool. Web data. These are the some tools. TeamScope, Heap, Smart Look. Then next, project management tools, Trello, Airtable, Asana. So these are some of the project management tools. Then grammar checker tools, Grammarly and Thinka. So if you prepare a report and you can have a grammar check. Even mobile phones itself, there are some grammar check is there. Suppose you wrongly type, it will correct it. So grammar check tools. Then plagiarism checker tools. Plagiarism is a repeater because when more plagiarism is there, the thesis of the report will be rejected. So plagiarism test checker, Q-text or and then double checker. So these are some of the plagiarism checker. Plagiarism means you should not use the same sentence or same word, but if you alter, plagiarism rate will be reduced. So if you know the technique, you can avoid this plagiarism. Okay. Then journal finder tools, journal finder, because it is a very important one because the research has to be submitted to the particular journal. Otherwise, it will be nobody will notice. Okay, so how many times your papers are repeated or looked by others is taken into account like H-index like this. Or also the journal also the reference is very important. So you have to find out a journal based on your research topic or a research project. You have to find out the journal and you have to save copies. So these are some of the software tools, Inadequate journal finder, etc. Then social networking. Means this is collaboration. So those some researchers, there are these are some of the tools for like ResearchGate, Academia, LinkedIn, Mendeley, Google Scholar, Scopus, ORCID. So these are some of the networking uh, media tool for the researchers. Okay. So these are the tools I have selected mainly with reference to the social work, social science, not with the even for science also it used because being a very science. And most of the whatever I told about the social, behavioral, educational, like that. Okay. Then last one, importance of research methodology. Research methodology is very important because based on the research methodology, your whole research is going to be you're going to present. For anything, research methodology should be very sound. Research methodology. So what are the it provides systematic framework. The research methodology provides systematic framework. Then a good research methodology it ensures the quality and credibility of the project or a paper, research paper. Then the research methodology help the research scholar or researcher to stay on track. And you should not. You should be on the track. Then only you can reach the destination. Then last one, the research methodology ensure the transparency. So because of these are some of the importance of this research methodology. So research methodology is very important for research paper as well as a project. Okay. In spite of some introduction like that, then the review of literature, they are also important. But your the college and the college where I worked for the past 30 years. Thank you once again. Thank the management committee, the external department, the organizers, coordinators, members, and particularly my interview, Dr. S.I.A. Mohammed Yasir, for giving this opportunity to see you all. Okay, have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed for this insightful technical session. Thank you. Before we enter into the valediction, I call upon Mr. Mushir from Department of History to exhibit the culture of Malabar tradition through a praising song on the Almighty, who is merciful and most benevolent.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jati penyadi buya bibi kadi cuma Rojati penyadi nenge kadi cuma Rajati penyadi sundariyanumma Jannatile rani தூளின போற்றிய சென்று அலங்கார பீஹதிஜா அலங்கார பீவி ஹதிஜா பெண்மணி உள்ள பீவி ஹதீஜும்மா ரோஜாத்தி பொன்மழவில் அடைந்த ஹதீஜும்மா മണിമക്കത്തോരു നല്ല മഹാരാജാവാടമുള്ള മധുരപ്പോതാരിക്കൊരു നാൾ സുവർഗം കിട്ടി ലോകാരസൂലിന്റെ കാവല് കണ്ട് ഖദീജ നട്ടി പൊന്നുമയില്ലാതെ വളർന്ന് പൊന്നുപ്പാനെ കാണാൻ കണ്ണ് പൊന്നാര പൂ ഖദീജുമ്മ സകലം കരിഞ്ഞ് ലോകാരസൂലിന്റെ വേദന മാറ്റിയ സുർവപ്പൂപ്പെണ്ണ് കോജാത്തി പെൺമണി പുല്ല ബീവി ഖദീജുമ്മ റോജാത്തി പൊന്മഴവില്ലാടിഞ്ഞ ഖദീജുമ്മ രാജാത്തി പെൺമിഴികളിലെ സുന്ദരിയാളുമ്മ ജന്നാത്തിലെ റാണി ബത്തൂരിനെ പോറ്റിയ പൊന്നുമ്മ.
Now we may enter into the valedictory section. I request the dignitaries to be seated on the stage. I request dignitaries to occupy seats on the stage.
Valediction. Valediction के लिए बेटा ये கனெக்ட் பண்ணா இதுல போட்டுருவோம். காலேஜ் கீழே வருமே அதெல்லாம் என்ன ப்ரோ? காலேஜ் கீழே வரும் அது எவ்வளோ பாருங்க டக்குன்னு.
அக்ரிகேட்டட் வித்
அது அது டக்குன்னு பாருங்க.
அது இன்னொரு பேஜ் இன்னொரு ஃபைல் ஒன்று இருந்துச்சு பாருங்க, அதில் இருக்கும். காப்பி பேஸ்ட் பண்ணி காப்பி அது ஃப்ரீ போட்டாச்சு. இதெல்லாம் இருந்துச்சு, எதுலேயுமே அதில் கனெக்ட் பண்ணி வைக்கவா?
நீ எங்கடா போனாங்க?
நேற்று பண்ணோம்னா அந்த மாதிரி வேலிடேஷன் மாதிரி முடிச்சிருவேன்.
ப்ரோ இது நல்லா இருக்குல்ல? ஓகே தம்பி தம்பி கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு ஸ்லைட் ஷேர் HDMI கனெக்ட் பண்ணிக்க, டக்குன்னு ஸ்லைட் ஷேர் பண்ணு. HDMI கனெக்ட் ஸ்லைட் ஷேர் மேல ஸ்லைட் ஷேர் from the beginning.
That's what even the
A warm greetings to the gathering. The PG and Research Department of History, Jawahar Government College feels privileged, on organizing this 5-day international workshop on research methodology, challenges and opportunities. We are entering into the valedictory session of this 5-day international workshop. Now, officially to commence this inspiring day, I invite Dr. T. Kumar Sathik, Associate Professor, Department of History, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
We request the students to occupy the front seats.
Participants, kindly occupy the front seats. Settle down quickly, please. Participants are asked to settle down quickly.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to all and all gathered here. It is with immense pleasure and a deep sense of honor that I welcome all of you to this valedictory session of this enlightened 5-day international workshop on international perspectives on research methodology, challenges and opportunities. Over the past few days, we have shared knowledge, exchanged ideas, and explored innovative solutions that bridge academic disciplines, cultures, and global research methodologies. On behalf of the PG and Research Department of History and the entire organizing committee, I extend my warmest greetings to our esteemed guests, distinguished speakers, faculty members, and students who have graced this occasion with their valuable presence. This event was made possible by the support of our magnanimous management, including our Secretary and Correspondent Sir, and Treasurer and Assistant Secretary Sir, the team led by our beloved Principal, Dr. D. George Amalakam Sir. Once again, I am happy to welcome our Vice Principal Sir for this international workshops, valedictory function. Your guidance and encouragement have been pivotal in making this workshop a success. Today, we gather to celebrate not just the conclusion of this workshop, but also the beginning of new academic pursuits, inspired by the sessions we have experienced. From technical discussions on qualitative and quantitative methodologies to thought-provoking insights on research ethics, and emerging trends, these 5 days have indeed been a treasure trove of learning. It is an honor to welcome our chief guest, Dr. A. Jahida Begum Ma'am, Senior Professor and Head of Rural University, Hindustan. She has vast teaching experience of 30 years and 26 years of research experiences. Madam has rich teaching and research experiences, produced 23 PhD scholars, and now guiding 7 PhD research students. Madam has published 111 research articles in UGC listed journals and published 19 books. She wrote 110 chapters in edited books and proceedings. She received many awards and honor from Gandhigram University and other organizations. Once again, I welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of this esteemed institution and behalf of the Department of History. Once again, I welcome our beloved Professor Ilyas sir, who led the session previously. Wonderful session on research methodology. I welcome you, sir. And I also happy to welcome our beloved professor from ABC College, Sivakumar sir, and madam from Tanjavur. Once again, I welcome you, ma'am. And I also welcome the staff members of other institutions and our own institution, and my dear colleagues for other departments and our departments. Once again, I welcome our head of the Department of History and faculty members of history, students and participants. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to honor the guest of today's We request our respected Vice Principal, sir, to adorn a shawl to the day's guest. A big round of applause, please. A memento is being presented to the guests of the Apex Card and Senior Professor of Executive Department of Education, Gandhidham Rural Institute, Physical.
Sir, presidential address of valediction. Valediction में मेरा presidential address में vice principal.
Rural Institute in the this valedictory address.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Most management of this reputed of this institution and HOD of History Department and the Organizing Secretary, Dr. Yazid, and all the faculty members of this History Department, as well as the participants from all over India, as well as foreign countries, and my brother, Dr. Muhammad Ilyas. Really, it is an honor to me to be here in this afternoon to deliver the valedictory address for the research methodology program that is conducted for the past 5 days. We know very well that Indians are very good in teaching and very good in other aspects, especially values and other things. And when it comes to research, we have to go a long way because we have to compete with the global researchers. And if we take the research in all the subjects, in all the disciplines, even including the history, we have reputed institutions. The first 10 institutions are coming in UK and US. So this is the global scenario that we have to compete in research, not only in history, in all the other disciplines as well. History is very, very important subject. The most of the time in Tamil Nadu, it is most neglected because we think that science and maths is very important than arts, especially the subjects like history. And the people aspiring for IAS is very less in Tamil Nadu because we have conducted a survey among the school students, especially the +2 students. They don't know even what to do for writing the IAS examination. Everyone wants to become a collector, that is different. But when they went to North and all, the aspiring students of history is more when compared to the Tamil Nadu. So that's why I just wanted to be, I'm always encouraging the students who are taking history as the major subject. In Tamil, we used to say, வரலாறு படைக்க வேண்டும் என்றால் கண்டிப்பாக ஒரு நாட்டின் வரலாறு தெரிந்திருக்க வேண்டும். ஒவ்வொரு நிறுவனத்தின் வரலாறு தெரிந்திருக்க வேண்டும். For example, if you take Jamal Muhammad College in Trichy, so St. Joseph's College, இவங்கெல்லாம் இல்லைன்னா இன்னைக்கு இவ்வளவு தூரம் படிச்சிருக்க முடியுமா? ஈவன் என்னுடைய பிரதர் இங்க இருக்காங்க, 80s PhD பண்ணணும்னு சொன்னா சென்ட் ஜோசப்ஸ் காலேஜ்லயும் ஜமால் முகமது காலேஜ்லயும் இருந்ததுனாலதான் பண்ண முடிஞ்சது. So in the college, what is the contribution of this college to education? That the history students, they have to take up and they have to do the research. So இதை வந்து நம்ம சாதாரணமா நினைக்கிறோம், but history is very, very important. அதுல நிறைய மெத்தடாலஜி அது இதெல்லாம் சொல்றாங்க. But interest, research is nothing but common sense. Research is nothing but hard work. Research is nothing but courage. Research is nothing but truth. It is 99% research is perspiration. Okay, even though if you want to become a researcher, if you don't have the perspiration, you can't do the research properly. So இன்னைக்கு வந்து நம்ம artificial intelligence within a click of the fingers, within few minutes you can conduct a research and submit a thesis. But that is not research. research must come from within. ஒவ்வொரு உள்ளத்திலையும் ஒவ்வொரு இல்லத்திலையும் ரிசர்ச் அப்படிங்கிறது நடக்கணும். இன்னும் சொல்ல போனா குரான்ல சொல்லும்போது அழகா சொல்லுவாங்க, நம்மள இறைவன் கட்டளையிட்டு இருக்கிறான், சிந்தித்து பாருங்கள், ஆய்வு செய்து பாருங்கள் அப்படின்ட்டு. நமக்கு இந்த ஆய்வு மனப்பான்மைங்கிறது இறைவன் இயற்கையா கொடுத்தது. அதை நம்ம என்ன யூஸ் பண்றோம்னா, எம்எல் டிகிரி வாங்குறதுக்கும் பிஹெச்டி டிகிரி வாங்குறதுக்கும் மட்டும் இல்ல ரிசர்ச். நம்ம ரிசர்ச் it must be useful for the society, it must be useful for development of the individuals living. So I'm very happy to share my ideas, few of my ideas in the valedictory section, considering the importance of Jummah today, and I don't want to take much of your time, but kindly I request the youngsters here, நீங்க கண்டிப்பா பெஸ்ட் ரிசர்ச்சரா வர முடியும், குளோபல் ரிசர்ச்சர்ஸா வர முடியும். With the help of Google, ChatGPT and your mobile phones, you can become the researcher, because you do spend some time every day in your mobile for research also. Best researchers are sitting inside. In future, I want to meet the best researchers in the form of your publications, in the form of your contribution in the research. Once again, I thank everyone. I thank Almighty for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Certificates for the participants of this 5-day international workshop. I request Dr. S.I.A. Muhammad Yasir, Organizing Secretary, to distribute the certificates.
Mr. V. Seenan, PhD Research Scholar, Department of History, Government Arts College, Dharmapuri. Mr. Sedu Manikam, PhD Research Scholar, Department of History, Kudavai Nachar, Government Arts College, Parliament, Tanjavur. Mr. B. Sanjay, PhD Research Scholar, Department of History, Jamal Mohd College. Mr. Muhammad Askar, PhD Research Scholar, Department of History, Jamal Mohd College. Mr. S. Jamal Muhammad, PhD Research Scholar, Department of History. Dr. M. Sivakumar, Associate Professor, Department of History, ABC College, Mailaduthurai. Dr. Iqbal, MAD of the Department of Tamil, Jamal Mohd College. Dr. Umar Farooq, Department of English, Jamal Mohd College. Mr. M. Muhammad Hanif Buhari, First MA History, Department of History.
We may welcome the Department of Commerce for this valedictory session.
Dr. Mohan Babu, Faculty of Commerce, Jamal Mohd College. Dr. Vijay Kumar, Department of Commerce, Jamal Mohd College. Mr. Muhammad Salim, First MA History, Department of Mr. G. Rengadurai, G. Rengadurai, Second MA History. Yes, Guna, Yes, Harish, second MA history. P. Abhimanyu, second. Dr. M. Muhammad Qadri. Dr. B. Natu, Organizing Secretary Officer. Dr. R. Dinesh Kumar. Myself, Dr. Muhammad Yasin.
Thank you for all the dignitaries on the stage and off the stage for your valuable presence for this valedictory section. No event is complete without acknowledging the efforts of the contributors. We conclude the valedictory session with a brief vote of thanks presented by Dr. S.I.A. Muhammad Yasir, Assistant Professor and Organizing Secretary.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Almighty, the most beneficent and merciful. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to all present here. It's my privilege to present you a vote of thanks on such a gracious occasion. First and foremost, I express our deepest gratitude. Our Secretary and Correspondent Sir, Treasurer Sir, Assistant Secretary Sir in absentia, and also Honorary Director of our college for the unwavering support and encouragement us as pillars of institution. Thank you, sirs. We are immensely grateful to our Vice Principal for his presence and valuable presence on the inaugural occasion as well as for his address and presence of this valedictory session. Thank you, sir. A hearty thanks to our Chief Guest of Honor, my fraternal mother, and Dr. A. Jahida Begum, Senior Professor and Head of the Department of Education, Gandhigram Rural Institute, Delhi. Thank you. I express a sincere thanks to my maternal uncle, Dr. M. Muhammad Ilyas. Thank you. I express sincere thanks to Dr. Santosh Abraham, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, for his keynote speech on the inaugural session. A profound thanks to all the eminent resource persons of the technical sessions. Professor Dr. Shabab Mahdi Hamid, University of Baghdad, Iraq. Dr. M. Jafar Sadiq, Department of Arabic, Jamal Muhammad College, for his translation. Dr. Anisa Iqbal Sabir, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. Dr. Sufyan Mansoor, National University of Malaysia. Dr. Bashir Ahmad, Department of Commerce, Jamal Muhammad College. Professor Dr. Hafiz Jagaria, International Islamic University, Malaysia. Dr. Sabir Kalam, Banaras Hindu University, Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Professor R. Sayyidun Nisa, International Institute of Population Science, Mumbai. Dr. R. Balasubramani, Bharadasan University, Tiruchirappalli. Dr. Justin James, University of Technology and Applied Science, Oman. All our eminent opponents and hands-on training has contributed for the success of this workshop. I thank each and every resource person for sharing their valuable insights. I owe the success of this workshop to all these eminent resource persons. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our beloved head of the department for his warm welcome address. Your address had set the tone for the entire sessions of this 5-day workshop, and his consistent support has yielded its success. Thank you, sir. I extend my gratitude to all the faculty members, Dr. M. Tajuddin, for their presentation of the theme of the seminar in the inaugural session. Dr. T. Umar Sadiq for his warm welcome address on the annual function. Dr. J. Agustin. Thank you, sir, for answering support. My sincere thanks to the fellow organizing secretaries, Dr. V. Manimuthu, and also Mr. V. R. Vignesh Kumar. My sincere appreciation to the PhD research scholars of our department, Mr. Sanjay Babu, Mr. Askar, Mr. Jamal Muhammad, for the firm assistance throughout the workshop, and also the students from the postgraduate and undergraduate for their consistent support and contributions. I thank our office attendants, Sister Samsa, and also office attendant of the Commerce, Mr. Rafiq. Let yet not the least, once again, I thank all the participants of our valuable presence. And also, I extend my thanks our head of the Department of Commerce. Thank you, sir, for the comment. And also, my own personal and my brother, Dr. Vijay Kumar, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks for everything. Once again, I thank each and everybody who contributed for this workshop, irrespective of ranks and files, and also express my overwhelming gratitude for the making this event as a success. And also for a special thanks to our friend Dr. Sivakumar sir from ADC College. Thank you so much. And also thanks to Dr. Iqbal sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Now I request the gathering to rise up for national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे ध्याने तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Please be seated. Thank you all for your participation and thoughtful engagement. Let's carry forward the insights gained here to refine our approaches and to contribute to a more robust global research community. Looking forward to see you all at next gathering. Thank you. On behalf of Teaching and Research Department of History, we extend a warm gratitude to the participants on offline as well as on online. With all your support, the entire day's event has launched